Lakers Nation, what is going on? So, today we got some more NBA draft content to cover, especially because we got some more news. And also, the NBA draft is around the corner next month in June 26th, so I cannot wait. We're not that far away from the draft. But also, we had the draft combine and the lottery not that long ago. Might have been like 2 weeks ago. But also, we got free agency in the summer. We got trades, all that good stuff. We got the summer league beginning. We're going to see our favorite players play in the draft coming in the summer league, but also some former, NBA players and stuff like that, G League players. And then you got the preseason beginning in October. I cannot wait for that. And then you got the start of the 2025-26 season. But I don't want to get too ahead of myself. Just want to focus. But today, the Lakers did predict to land a 24-year-old sharpshooting guard, an older player by the name of Taji. Let me know in the comment section if I did pronounce his name right or wrong. I'm so sorry if I did butcher it, but I'm trying to, get to know his name and learn it more. Did watch some highlights and some film, so I've been studying him since last night and also this morning. But before I get into the video and, pretty much break down his entire game and what his, fit and, skill set, how it would work on the Los Angeles Lakers, I'd really appreciate if you could like the video so my channel can grow. Really help the channel a lot, the algorithm. Make sure you guys comment, share, subscribe, man. Just want to say thank you once again for reaching my milestone 3K subs the other day. And also my next goal is 4K. And follow my socials, everything you need to know about your boy, Trevor Fields. And my channel is called Mr. 81, obviously because I named it after Kobe Bryant when he did score 81 points. So if you guys are just wondering why it's called Mr. 81, it's because of that. But like I said, my real name is Trevor Fields. And make sure you guys turn on the notification bell for daily content so you guys don't miss out. I've been very consistent more than ever. Been posting basically almost every single day. I don't even think I missed a day, but that's just me grinding and putting the work in, the effort, 365 days. So I'm going to continue be busy, and I'm not going to waste too much time. So let's get into the article. I'm not going to read the whole, article. I'm only going to talk about the most important things and what makes sense for the Los Angeles Lakers. So make sure you guys get your popcorn ready and watch the entire video. Don't skip it because I have some very important things to say. So pretty much, Jonathan Weserman, this is coming from him on Bleacher Report. He's like an insider, and pretty much he did project that the Los Angeles Lakers would take him, the Wisconsin guard John Tonje with the number 55th overall pick in this latest mock draft in the second round. So he quoted this. So it says, after spending 4 years at Colorado State, I'm pretty sure it's like a small, small school, and one with Missouri, John Taji did put himself in the draft discussion by averaging 19.6 points per game. Weserman wrote for Wisconsin, he made 85 threes. That is very good. An exceptional 231 free throws on shooting 90.9% from the free throw line. So that is very good. And his shot making and his physical driving ability. He's a scoring guard, but he's become more worth looking into for teams in the late, second round, because the Lakers have a number 55th overall pick in this year's draft. They don't have a first-round pick, but the New Orleans Pelicans, they deferred our pick this year because last year was a weaker draft class, and that's how we selected Dalton Connect with the first-round pick at 17. But this draft class is looked at as very good, especially in a long time, and just how deep it is, right? But the Pelicans traded for DeJounte Murray, and the Atlanta Hawks have our pick 22nd, and then they have the Sacramento Kings via 13th overall pick. But I don't want to be off topic. So it says, Tonje talks NBA Combine. So this is very interesting. It says there's no guarantee he'll get drafted. He's already 24, so he's an older player. It's not like he's like this 18, 19-year-old player that needs to, take long to, develop for like the next couple of years. But like I said, he has some upside, which is very limited. He spent 6 years in college, but his first year with, Wisconsin Badgers, almost had a brain fart. But the pre-draft process is very important for players like Tonje. He may not even be on a lot of, people's or teams' radars, but he's strong, showing in front of scouts could help him a lot. He had a chance to participate at the NBA Draft Combine, which I did watch some of his highlights, and he was doing good. He was shooting threes, he was handling the ball, he was facilitating, he was cutting to the basket, he was dunking, pretty much doing that. But like I said, he's a scoring guard, and he was just very happy with his experience. So that's something that I do like. He also quoted this. He says, "Man, it was amazing. Combine via Badger Notes. It was a blessing in disguise to be out there and see all the people I grew up seeing on TV and seeing some of the other college athletes. So it was just fun as well to compete at a high level and all the drills, the workouts, the combine, and to go through the measurements and everything. That was just my first time doing everything. So it was just a kind of a fresh start and new to see everything that just goes into the NBA draft this year. I was very excited to be there. So it just sounds like he's very happy and he's hoping to keep improving. He was a notable name before last season, where he had one season where he averaged over 10 points per game, but he improved greatly, marginally in his first year at Wisconsin Badgers. But like I said in the beginning of the video, he did average around 19.6 points per game and was named the consensus second team All-American, also hitting 38.8% of his three-point shots. So that is actually incredible. He has shown flashes that he can improve and greatly, really hoping to continue that. And then he also quotes this. He says, "I think it's just a steady improvement every day." Tonje said, "I love the game. I love the work ethic that I put every single day. The hard. I love to get better. I love to compete and win. And that's what I want on my team. I love someone that just gives the energy, even if they don't put crazy stats. Let's say they give you 10 and like 5 rebounds." Guys, I'm so sorry. As I was speaking earlier, my audio did, cut out, but I'm officially back. So I was saying, I don't care if he does give us 10 points or 5 rebounds, Tonje. Even if he does play both ends of the ball and he doesn't, drop 20 points, I really don't care because you're playing both ends. Like, let's say you give us 20 points, but you still give it up, 20 more points, and your liability than defense, then that's the issue. But I love his confidence. He says, "I'm someone that can see myself getting better each and every single day, continue to grow, learn, and develop at the NBA level, and, going up against grown men." But he says, "I love the game," so I think that's the sky's the limit. But the Lakers could definitely use more shooting. So if Tonje's shooting translates to the NBA level, he could be a very interesting player to take on. He's a flyer. There's just a little risk with the number 55th overall pick and the second round. But in my personal opinion, I don't feel like the Lakers need another guard. Obviously, you have Gabe Vincent. He's a 3&D guard, but his contract is expiring. He's making around $11 million. Obviously, Taji would fit alongside Luka Doncic because he puts some defense. He's not going to be elite, but at least he's a solid defender. And if the Lakers do extend, Austin Reeves, and they pay him at least $89.2 million, and he's making around $22.5 million or $25 million, somewhere around those range, and he doesn't opt out and asks or commands more money, like $40 million, and the team is going to pay him over that money, because I'm pretty sure his contract terms will be at least, 4 or 5 years, 160 to 200 M's, which is actually insane. So his salary right now is $54 million, and actually, no, his contract term is $54 million, and his salary is around $13 million. So that is very, reasonable. That is very, valuable, especially for a player that's giving you that production and playing like an all-star. I mean, he's giving you 28 and 7 assists, especially when LeBron James not playing. So he's stepping up when they're not playing. But like I said, he's just better suited off the bench, because you can't have two guys that are unathletic and that need the ball in their hands. So that's just how I feel. And then you got guys like Shake Milton pretty much coming off the bench, but he's like a third string, and he was part of the D'Angelo Russell and Dorian Finney-Smith trade ahead of the trade deadline. It might have been a month ago before the trade deadline, but I digress. His contract is non-guaranteed, and he's going to be a free agent in 2027. And then you got LeBron James' son, Bronny James, which he did develop him after his cardiac arrest, spending his freshman season at USC. Sorry for the background noise, but he did play for South Bay Lakers, and he's starting to, play some solid basketball. So I am hoping that he does earn rotation minutes next season, even if it's not a lot, but at least more minutes than what he was getting, because pretty much he was getting garbage minutes, especially when the Lakers are, blowing out a team, or if they're just getting dominated right. But he's a 3&D guard. I mean, you can never go wrong with having another 3&D guard or another 3&D wing, but I just don't feel like we need another guard, especially when he already got a superstar, Luka Doncic. I know he's tall for a guard at that position, but he also got guys like Jordan Goodwin, which he was on a standing contract, and the Lakers did convert him in the NBA playoffs because he was eligible At first he wasn't, but I digress. That's just my personal opinion. And then you got Dalton Connect, who was a first round pick at 17 last year. And there was games where he dropped 35 points, 38 points, but there was games where he was out of rotation in the regular season, just not consistent, but that's just part of being a rookie. And I didn't even see him touch a court in the playoffs because when you look at his stats or the defense rating, he's like our worst defender on this team. So it's that bad. So I wouldn't mind the Lakers taking a look at, a two-way guard, obviously a point of attack guard. But like I said, he's never going to be elite. At least he's solid. And Taji can stay in front of his man. But let me know in the comment section, how do you guys feel about today's video? Did I miss anybody that I did, talk about that's a guard? But I just feel like the better way for the Lakers to approach is just go look for a center through the NBA draft or through trade. There's guys like Nick Claxton, Daniel Gafford, that's really realistic. There's free agents in the market like Monster, but he's going to get paid. You got Steve Adams, who's a backup. And then you got guys like Clint Capella. I'm also hearing that the Lakers almost traded for Nneka Okongwu from, the Atlanta Hawks around the trade line, which I didn't know. It did come out literally yesterday or today. But I prefer the Lakers if they're going to, keep their 55th overall pick, or if not, trade up in the draft, then you got to get a versatile wing. That's just how I feel. There's guys like Eric Dixon. He's a forward. I'm pretty sure he's like 6'8". But there's just other guys that you could look at. The Lakers need not only a center, but they need some perimeter guys that can play both ends, because that's been the biggest problem and concern. I mean, we really don't have that on this team. So if we can get that through the NBA draft, like let's say if we buy a pick in the second round, I know the whole CBA and stuff like that, I'm pretty sure there's like restrictions. Correct me if I'm wrong, but the Lakers traded that, second round pick to get Max Christie. Or was it Max or Lewis? But Max Christie started to come into his own as a prototypical 3&D wing or player. But he's a guard. He can even play shooting guard. You got Austin Reeves on the Los Angeles Lakers, but he's listed as a small forward, but he can play shooting guard or guard positions. So he could play three positions, but that's just how I feel. And also, I'm going to break down John Taji's game. So basically, he could create off the dribble when point up from three and catch and shoot, attack the rim, not attach, but while putting his head down, and has a nice midi. So pretty much he's a 3-level scorer. He can also cut very well to the basket, has a nice soft touch around the rim. He can also post you up using his back to the basket. He can make plays. Like I said, he's a scoring guard who's like 6'5", so it's not like he's 6'2", 6'3". He's not undersized, but he does weigh about 218 pounds, so he has some size. He is often described as a 3&D guard, meaning he's a strong shooter and a good defender. He has high shooting percentage, especially from behind the arc, and is capable of defending multiple positions, so he's versatile. Like I said in the beginning of the video, or later, he's not an elite defender, but he's a pretty solid defender. So he's not a traditional playmaker, but he's primarily as a scorer and a shooter, and his role in college basketball was just more focused, more on being the team's offensive engine rather than a traditional point guard. So he's not primarily a playmaker, even though he can make the occasional pass and stuff like that, but he's developing his passing ability and decision-making skills and his playmaking ability, while not primarily strength, are improving. So let me know in the comment section, how do you guys feel about his game, what I broke down? Do you guys agree with what I said? But like I said, I'm so sorry if the video did cut out because of the audio, but like I said, I'm back. I appreciate the support. I'm gonna keep repeating myself. Make sure you guys like to get it to more people. Subscribe, man. Just want to keep saying thank you for 3K subs. It means a lot to me. I've been trying to reach it for months, and I finally hit it like last week. And also turn on the notification bell so you guys stay updated for more draft news, Lakers content, free agency news, Lakers trades, all that good stuff, proposed trades or mock drafts, and also, the Summer League or Exhibit 10 contracts, because I'm pretty sure the Lakers are going to sign somebody that's undrafted. But also, man, follow my socials, everything you need to know about your boy, Trevor Fields. And cheers, I'm out of here. Peace.